Your dog watches you all day. The second you stand up, they're already moving toward your seat before you've even turned around. Most people roll their eyes and laugh it off. Some get a little annoyed. A few try to train it out of them. But what if that one tiny move is actually the most emotionally loaded thing your dog will ever do, and you've been misreading it for years? Here's the thing. That seat isn't just warm. It isn't just soft. To your dog, the spot you just left holds something no toy, no treat, no expensive dog bed in the world can replicate. And the reason they go straight for it every single time, it's not about the cushion, it's about you. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what your dog has been trying to tell you every single time they've done this, probably for years. You've seen it 100 times. You stand up to grab a glass of water, maybe answer the door, maybe just stretch your legs for 30 seconds, and before you've even taken 3 steps, your dog is already circling on your seat, pressing their nose deep into the cushion, settling in like they've been waiting all day for this exact moment. Which, here's the thing, they probably have. Dogs experience the world almost entirely through smell. Their noses contain roughly 300 million olfactory receptors. Yours has about 6 million. That means your dog's sense of smell is anywhere between 10,000 and 100,000 times more powerful than yours, depending on the breed. That's not a small difference. That's a completely different sensory universe. Now think about what your seat smells like to them. Every time you sit down, you leave behind a dense, layered chemical signature. The natural oils from your skin, trace hormones, the subtle shifts in your body chemistry that happen when you're relaxed, when you're stressed, when you've just come home after a long day. Your dog doesn't just detect these things. They read them the way you'd read a detailed letter from someone you love. Research published in scientific journals studying canine olfaction has found that dogs can detect emotional states through human scent alone. Anxiety, calm, excitement. Your dog picks up on all of it. And your seat? It's soaked in the most concentrated version of your scent they can access when you're not physically there. So, when your dog presses their face into your cushion and exhales deeply, they're not being lazy. They're not being opportunistic. They're doing something ancient and profound. They're wrapping themselves in the chemical equivalent of your presence. It's the closest thing to being next to you that they can find, without actually being next to you. And here's what makes this even more important, because this scent connection is only the first layer of what's really happening. There's something underneath it that most dog owners never think to consider. Keep watching, because what comes next explains so much about your dog's behavior that's probably confused you for years. But first, let's flip something most people get completely backwards. When your dog takes your seat, every instinct tells you they're taking something away from you. They're being cheeky. They're being bold. They're winning some little power struggle you didn't even realize you were having. That's the story most people tell themselves. But that's not what's actually happening. Dogs are descended from pack animals that operated on very clear social structures. In those structures, one of the most important responsibilities a pack member had was guarding the resources and resting places of the individuals they were bonded to. Not stealing them, guarding them. When your dog sits in your spot, a significant part of that behavior is about preservation. They are holding your place. They are keeping your scent concentrated and protected. They are, in their own way, maintaining the position of the person they're most attached to in the space where that person belongs. Think about how dogs behave with objects that belong to their owners. Many dogs will curl up next to, or even on top of, their owner's shoes, their unwashed laundry, the pillow they sleep on when they travel. This isn't random. It's a comfort-seeking and territory-holding behavior rooted in deep attachment. Your seat is just the most obvious version of it. Studies on canine separation-related behavior have found that dogs with strong attachment bonds to their owners show significantly more seat-occupying and owner item-seeking behaviors when left alone, compared to dogs with weaker bonds. In other words, The more your dog loves you, the more likely they are to be sitting in your seat the moment you leave it. So, the next time you come back to find your dog sprawled across your spot looking completely unrepentant, take a second before you shoo them off. Because what you're actually looking at is a dog that loves you enough to want to hold your place while you're gone. And this brings us to something deeper. Because the seat isn't just about scent, and it isn't just about attachment. It's also about something your dog has quietly decided about who you are to them, and this one might genuinely surprise you. Now, here's a question most people never think to ask. Why your seat? Why not the armchair in the corner? Why not the other end of the sofa? Why not the patch of sunlight on the floor that's been sitting there warm and inviting all afternoon? Your dog is not randomly choosing comfort. They are specifically choosing your spot, and that choice is intentional in a way that goes much deeper than most people realize. Dogs are extraordinarily observant. They spend their entire lives reading the humans they live with, tracking routines, monitoring body language, cataloging patterns of behavior. Over weeks and months and years, your dog builds an incredibly detailed internal map of your household. Who feeds them? Who opens the door? Who controls when walks happen and when playtime ends? Who sits where? For how long? And with what kind of energy? And what they've almost certainly concluded, if they're going straight to your seat, is that you are the most important person in that space. In canine social dynamics, the resting place of the most significant individual in a group carries a kind of status. Not dominance in the aggressive, outdated sense that old dog training theory used to push, but significance. Your seat is where the person who matters most spends their time. It holds the heaviest concentration of your energy, your warmth, your smell. And for a dog who has decided that you are their person, that spot becomes the most meaningful location in the entire house. When your dog sits in it, they're not challenging your authority. They're expressing something closer to reverence. They want to be where you are in the most literal sense possible. And when you're not there, the next best thing is to be exactly where you were. Dog behavior researchers have observed that dogs in multi-person households will almost always preferentially occupy the seat of the person they have the strongest bond with, even when other seats are equally warm, equally cushioned, and equally available. The attachment drives the choice, not the comfort. Think about that. Out of every available surface in your home, your dog keeps coming back to the one that belongs to you. That's not coincidence. That's a decision. And what we're building toward, what all these layers are pointing to, is a conclusion most dog owners spend years completely missing. But before we get there, there's something physical happening that you need to understand first. Put your hand on your seat right after you've been sitting in it for an hour. It's warm, obviously, but what you probably don't know is how significant that warmth is for your dog biologically. Dogs run hotter than humans. The average human sits around 98.6 degrees. Dogs typically range between 100 and 102.5 degrees. Their metabolism burns hotter, and their ideal environmental temperature is correspondingly higher. This is why they seek out warm surfaces with what looks like borderline obsession. Sunny patches on the floor, the top of the dryer, freshly dried laundry, your seat. But here's what makes your seat specifically valuable in a way those other warm surfaces aren't. It's warm and it smells like you. It's warm and it feels safe. It's warm and it carries every layer of meaning we've already talked about. Research on thermoregulation has found that dogs expend measurably less energy resting on warm surfaces because their bodies don't have to work as hard to maintain core temperature. So your warm seat isn't just emotionally satisfying, it's physically efficient, which leads to something that genuinely blows people's minds when they first hear it. You haven't even moved yet. You're still sitting there. And yet your dog is already starting to position themselves. They're watching you with that particular quality of attention, almost like they're waiting for a signal only they can perceive. And here's the truth. They are. Dogs are pattern recognition machines operating at a precision most humans can't really grasp. They know the sound your phone makes when you put it face down. They know the way you shift your weight in the cushion right before you stand up. They know the specific quality of breath you take before you get up versus the one you take before you speak. Every micro-signal has been cataloged, every one connected to an outcome. Research on canine cognition has consistently found that dogs predict routine actions with remarkable accuracy based on cues humans produce unconsciously. Your dog isn't reacting to you getting up. They're anticipating it, already in motion based on signals you gave seconds before you consciously decided to move. And understanding why they're so good at reading you connects to something much bigger. Dogs don't just observe humans. They learn from us. They model their behavior on ours. Studies from institutions including the University of Vienna have demonstrated that dogs engage in observational learning at a surprisingly sophisticated level. They watch what their owners do, form associations between behaviors and outcomes, and apply what they've learned to themselves. Your dog has watched you sit in that spot for months or years. They've seen the relaxation in your body there, the comfort and ease of your presence, and they've concluded that this must be the right place to be. Which brings us to the final piece. Think about what vulnerability means for a dog. Dogs are descended from animals where choosing the wrong place to rest could be genuinely dangerous. Sleep is the moment of maximum vulnerability. The decision of where to let their guard down isn't casual. It carries evolutionary weight that thousands of years of domestic life haven't erased. Now look at what your dog is doing when they take your seat. They're choosing the spot that smells most like you, that holds your warmth, that represents the highest concentration of your presence in the physical world. They're choosing to be vulnerable because of you. That's not convenience. That's not laziness. That is your dog telling you, in the clearest way their behavior allows, that you are their safe place. So the next time you come back and find them settled in, looking up with those completely unapologetic eyes, maybe don't rush to move them. Maybe sit down next to them instead. Because what they're doing in that moment isn't rude, and it isn't dominant. It's love, the quietest, most biologically honest kind of love a dog knows how to give. If this changed the way you see your dog even a little, share it with someone who has a dog that steals their seat. Because now, you both know what it really means.